2 of day shift of his 8 days on. Already sliced my finger, so let's not have any more mishaps this morning. This was done on a gate, mind you, unintentionally. So let's get to it. Wish me luck. This is not a plan. Oh. Ah. The jib rocking guys make it look so much easier than this. It needs to be literally snug. And I think I've gone like overboard snug. So a little bit more elbow grease, I think. So I've cut my section out to fit the door frame. I couldn't get the air gun to work, so I've had to resort back to using some nails. So I'm just going to nail it into the wood now. So I've nailed my plasterboard sheet into my old door frame and cleaned up my area so there's no tripping hazards. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plaster to make it one flush wall. So I've gone ahead and I've plastered up that entranceway now. I will leave that to dry for the next day or two. I'll come back tomorrow and have a look to see if it is actually dry before I can go back over it. So there's about a ½ inch sort of like dip where it didn't join up properly, but that's easily fixed with plaster.
So I've just come to the house and Dara's surprised me. She's had a crack at boxing in the wall that goes between the old lounge room and the room on the other side. We're going to have to redo it because it's not quite correct, but really good. She's had a good old crack at it. We're going to go through it and just show her what we're meant to do with it, so next time she'll know. You can have a look. I think she's got a bucket of plaster in the top section. Drops down about 5 mil on the gap, which is fine. We could have plastered that up. Gets pretty deep down here. Yeah. We could have plastered it up, but we've gonna have to do some framework behind it anyway. So we'll go around the other side and have a bit of a look. Just show you what she's done behind it, and then we'll start into it. All right, so she's gone with just the plasterboard straight into the existing framework, which is fine, but there's no real support behind here, and we're thinking since we've got to actually put framework in there, it might be worthy of pushing it out, then putting a new frame in there and having the 10mm steps, so when the new plasterboard goes on there, it's going to be a bit smoother. Line up with the walls a little bit more. Putting a weather protection on inside as well. It's all good, that's what this is about. It's all about learning. So we're going to go and knock this out and start making some frames. Alright, let's get the rest of this board off and start making some frames. Alright guys, so I've gone and ripped it all down. Probably going to eat my words a little bit here. What Dara's done was pretty well, it was probably fine. We could have probably built the framework on the back. I didn't realise how thick this wood was. For some reason I had in my mind that it was only relatively thin. I didn't see it before it went on. Or I did, but obviously I couldn't remember what it was like before it went on. And because she went and done it while I was at work, I was a bit worried it wasn't correct. But all the same, we'll be able to put the new frame in there and try and level it up a bit better with the existing wall, so we don't have to use so much plaster like the outside wall ended up. I had to build up a fair bit of plaster on the outside wall. But if we can make this one a bit easier to do, probably better. So let's start building a frame and see how we go. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've gone and made a new frame for the inside of the door. Fits beautifully. Now what I'm going to do is I've got a bit of a flat edge here. So what I've gone and done so far is I've got it flush with the wall around the outside. But what I want to do is actually get it so it sits in and just have the plasterboard just nicely. So once we go and put the plasterboard in, it should come flush with the wall that's existing, and then it's only in between the gaps that we've got to go and plaster, minimise the amount of plaster use. As you can see, we've used second-hand wood that we've taken out of other walls and stuff that we've used. We've put it all, stored it all in the shed, so we've got it for places like this. It's not too concerning of what it looks like, but it's good structural wood. So we've gone and recycled it, saved ourselves a few bucks here. So let's go into it and sink this doorway in and get this together. So the framework's in. How I levelled it off. I had my bar, my bit of flat wood, and then I cut out a packer out of plasterboard, and I just used it like a feeler gauge underneath on the frame and the wood. So it's pretty well able to fit a 10mm piece of plasterwood all the way around now. So when the new piece goes on, it should be nice and easy. We'll just be able to tape it up at the ends and knock her on in. Hopefully it should be good. frames in. We've got this back foil insulation on the back, not for the fact of the insulation, but more so we've got something for the fat bats to go in behind and the plasterboard to go over the top just to hold it all in place there. Because we've got the two frames and there's a gap in between, we thought that was the best way to go about it. Don't know if it's right or wrong. If you know any different, you're a builder, chuck it in the comments below. Put the plasterboard on the wall and it's looking good. So we're going to finish up here for the night because I've got night shift again, but Dara's going to come back tomorrow and have a crack at meshing it all up and having a crack at the plastering. We figured the worst case scenario, we've got to sand it back and go again, so it's no big deal. So we'll come back tomorrow and hopefully this thing's all plastered up. Alright guys, so this channel's about learning. One thing I learned with the other side when I've done that was I didn't mark out where the beam patterns are, so I didn't know where to actually nail into. So with this one, we're going to nail in, work out where our cross beams are, mark it out on the wall, so when it comes to nailing it all up, it's just a matter of following the line and we know we're in the spot. Alright guys, so that's the second part of the door, all boxed in. Looking great. This one had to be done a little bit differently because of where the wall was coming out to, so we smoothed it off. Then we've got to tape up the edges and plaster it all up. I was a bit worried about it because I'm not sure how the plaster's going to take over the wood and stuff like that, but there is a built-in robe going in this section anyway, so you're not even going to see the wall at the end of this. But we'll plaster it up and get it looking as good as we can. Should be sweet. So what we're trying to achieve here, we're trying to work out what doors, windows need boxed in. And this room here is pretty substantial. It's got 3 windows, or 3 holes we need to box in. We've got this one here. We want to remove that and get that boxed in. We've got the doorway here that needs boxed in. And we've got this where this old glass sheeting was. We need to box that in. We're just looking at the best way to do this. It's got the 110mm door frame and it's got the 90mm wood behind it. Now, we know from the builder that this roof here is a supported roof. So this is from supported structure, so we can't just go and remove all this. So we're debating whether to actually remove the 90mm framework and bring it all to 110 and then box it all in like that so it's all nice and flush, or whether we can actually remove this 110 framework here and put 90mm in there. If this is there, whether that would hold the weight or not, we're unsure of that. I'll be talking to the builder about it and see where we can go, but I'm thinking at the moment it's looking more like we'd be better off going to the 110mm wood and just having a little bit thicker wall. So this side here will be a plasterboard wall, and we're thinking the inside wall is probably going to have to be a gyprock wall, a HardieFlex wall, because of what we've got planned for in this room. And then there is going to be a false wall going along the outside here to cover the windows and stuff in there, because they'll be getting blanked out eventually too. But yeah, let's keep going. Alright guys, Dara's gone and done the plaster work on the door. It's come out really good. Alright guys, it's my last night on night shift tonight, so one last short day and then we're into this full time for a while. There's a storm coming, and on our room that we built the wall the other day, hasn't got any guttering yet. guttering, and it's rocked up. So we're going to try and get this guttering up before the rain comes through. Try and direct the rain away from the wall. Haven't got any capping or anything for it at the moment, so it's really just directing the water away and down the yard a bit. So got these clamps to fit up, get them fitted up first. We'll cut our guttering down to size and hopefully get this thing up. Just about to start raining now by the sounds of it. That was cold. So it's raining. We've got the guttering up. So we've not got the water running all over the place anymore. It's just running straight down. We've got a temporary downpipe at the moment. We'll have to grab some new capping and the pipe downlet for it. But that can come another day. At least now it's not going all over our window, which is what we wanted. So now that's done, we can get back to boxing some walls. We got a leak. So we're going to work out where that's coming from. I might just pause up on this for a minute, go up in the roof and have a bit of a look and see if we can work out where that's coming from. Alright guys, so we've just come up here for a quick look and we've found there's water leaking down through here, through the flashing and the roofing. We're just going to try and have a crack at putting a bit of Celastic around it, dry it off and Celastic it, see if it can seal it for the time being, but it's obviously something we're going to have to take care of, probably from the top of the roof no doubt, outside of the tin, but I don't really want to get up there right now because it's raining, it's slippy, wet. So let's go and Celastic this stuff up, hopefully seal this leak from inside at least. Alright guys, just for a temporary fix, I've gone and wedged as much Celastic around the joint as I can. Looks like it has stopped leaking, but just for a backup I've gone and just wrapped a heap of rag around it and taped it on for the time being. Obviously this is something we're going to have to take care of relatively quickly because we don't want any damage, any more damage than what's already done to the ceiling in place. Obviously that section of the ceiling has to come out and be replaced anyway, so but we'll get this sorted out very shortly. Dara and I have just been talking, we were looking at this wall and we noticed down the bottom we've got this floor that sticks out at the bottom, and over here it's going to protrude, so we're not going to be able to get the right down to the skirting board, and Dara wants the walls to come down straight, so we're going to put another wall up so that the wall comes down completely straight and doesn't have that kick out at the bottom. That's not what we want. For what the room is going to be purposed as, that'll be completely fine. Doesn't matter about losing another 100 mil or so. Should be good. So that's going to be a big job. I'm on my days off tomorrow, so we'll get into it then.